Ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news. We got two new Secretaries of State to replace Marco Rubio. Their names are Luke Faritor and Gavin Kliger. They are DOGE Bros who work for Elon Musk, and they have been very busy. Very little busy beavers indeed, countermanding and vetoing the funding decisions of the real Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who made it clear that there were certain international funding obligations that even the Trump administration would abide by, including helping people in developing countries with cancer, with famine, with AIDS, but not to Gavin Kliger and Luke Faritor, two white people. You haven't seen any whiter white people than these two, okay? And they're busy working behind the scenes, canceling out funding payment after funding payment after funding payment, as reported by the Washington Post. You're on MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. Let's get to it. Gavin Kliger, who works for something called Databricks and is a technologist and engineer, works for Elon Musk. He's the person that Elon Musk sicked onto USAID to try to dismantle it, the Consumer Protection Bureau to try to dismantle it. Whenever he's the sledgehammer, if you will, for Elon Musk. More to the point, however, is the reporting about his political beliefs. He's an election denier, borderline QAnon supporter who likes and supports people like the avowed white supremacist Nick Fuentes and other things. Here's the reporting on Gavin Kliger, who got into all of the information technology servers in a way that the judges did not contemplate in issuing their injunctions, and systematically dismantled anybody's ability to approve funding other than DOGE and Elon Musk. So for the lawyers for the Department of Justice to try to look judges in the eye and tell them that Elon Musk has no power, I give you Exhibit A in Gavin Kliger and Exhibit B in Luke Faritor. Here's what investigative research has turned up about Kliger in particular. He has retweeted posts from Nick Fuentes, a known white supremacist that's so bad that even Vice President J.D. Vance says he's a total loser. He's also reposted postings by Andrew Tate, who has referred to himself as a misogynist and is currently in prison or in jail in Romania, or not free to leave his homes, for human trafficking, including trafficking of minors. Those are the people that Kliger hangs around with. Kliger has also called for the pardon by Donald Trump of Derek Chauvin. He's the one that sat on George Floyd for over 4.5 minutes and crushed him to death as a police officer. He puts up posts in which he endorsed Pete Hegseth during the sexual assault allegations investigation. And he also tried to defend Matt Gaetz about all of those credible allegations coming out of the House Ethics Committee report about his sexcapades and crimes involving minors. He also has supported and retweeted or reposted an essay by Ron Unz, who is an American conservative, who's also has described himself, or The Guardian has described Unz, who Kliger follows, as a Holocaust denier who publishes virulent anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ+, and neo-Nazi screeds. So this is your Secretary of State, because as the Washington Post has reported, even though Marco Rubio made a decision to allow Ukrainian aid related to HIV that's still ravaging parts of Africa, to try to help other people, that wasn't good enough for Secretaries of State of Kliger and Faritor, who, once they got their greedy little hands and greasy little fingers on the servers, decided to veto Marco Rubio. Now, these are the people that have decided to join forces and be the enablers of Donald Trump. Because of their naked cling to power, and they just want to have it listed in their wiki page and in their obituary that they were the fill in the blank. I was the Commerce Secretary. I was the Secretary of State. I was the head of the Department of Justice. I was the head of the FBI. No, you're not. You're all meat puppets. The only people that's the head of this government in a unitary president theory is Donald J. Trump. He's his own Secretary of State, Attorney General, a Commerce Secretary, Treasury Secretary. I got news for you. The rest of you are just taking marching orders because you have bent the knee to Donald Trump for your own political and financial greed. That's it. You've sacrificed whatever values you ever had at the altar of power and greed in support of Donald Trump. If I were Marco Rubio, having found out about Luke Faritor and Gavin Kliger working behind the scenes as the DOGE Bros, trying to veto my commands as one of the top 4 cabinet positions in America, I would either have them fired immediately if I had that power, or I would resign if I didn't. Well, I don't hear Marco Rubio resigning, do you? And I don't hear him challenging Donald Trump about Elon Musk. I mean, it looked like I'm going to show a clip in a minute. It looked like a hostage video today at the cabinet meeting when Donald Trump went around the room and said, does anybody have a problem with Elon Musk and the job he's doing? No, sir. No, sir. We don't want to lose our titles and our ability to cash in once this administration goes down completely in flames. Let's show the clip.
You could ask me or Elon. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I just wanted to ask you that President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going, and if so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Hey, Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, we'll throw him out of here. Is anybody unhappy? They have a lot of respect for Elon and that he's doing this, and some disagree a little bit, but I will tell you, for the most part, I think everyone's not only happy, they're thrilled.
So that is an indication of what I'm talking about. These are just meat puppets sitting around. They're not really there. This is like Weekend at Bernie's. Remember the movie Weekend at Bernie's? All of those cabinet members are dead. They died the moment that they were selected and they were confirmed by the Senate. We put lipstick on them, a little bit of rouge, some sunglasses, and a baseball cap, and we swing them around the room and press conferences at the appropriate moment. But they're all dead. They're as dead as Bernie, yeah? Because the only one that's running this show is Donald Trump, in collaboration with Elon Musk, in collaboration with people like Stephen Miller, his White House counselor. That's it, folks. That is the government. And if you don't like it, and you find that that's not accountable to you and your values, then join us in opposition. Then join us for going after this Trump administration on a daily, hourly, and minute-by-minute basis to hold the bastards accountable and to call them out, to hold them accountable. You have to talk about these issues, which we're doing right here. And so we're going to continue to do it on MeidasTouch and on Legal AF. I needed to talk to you about the new Secretaries of State because it's important to know that behind the scenes, the DOGE Bros led by Elon Musk are really running the show, and Donald Trump is letting them do that. And you need to punish them. You need to punish them at the time of when you finally can. Right now, it's just, I get a text and a poll, and what do you think about the current administration, and knock on their door and a clipboard and all that, and I donate money. I just donated on the street to Planned Parenthood once again. I saw this very beleaguered volunteer on the corner of a major intersection of a small town where I'm now living. And she looked very downtrodden, like it was a rough day. And rather than her come to me, I went to her and I said, what are you out here for? She said, Planned Parenthood. I said, Planned Parenthood, where do we sign? Here, hold the baby. Right there on the street. I donate in my other ways too. But I wanted, and she had a big smile on her face. She's like, it's been really rough for us out here because this is sort of a purpley town that I live in. It goes blue, but it's purple, and it can be really red depending upon the time of day. So this is acts of resistance, the people within the DOGE service who are fighting back, the people that are hacking and doing peaceful protests matter. Don't give up. Don't give in. Lean forward, not back. Join us. Link arms with us. That's why there's been such a surge in support for the MeidasTouch Network and for Legal AF since the election. I'll be frank. We were worried after the election. You know, I'll share without breaching confidences. I'll share that we were nervous about what would happen. We thought we served a valuable purpose, but it took us a minute to find our footing. I had to go for a long walk in the woods with a pot of bourbon. But when I came out the other side, I was ready. The brothers were ready. We were all ready. And we found our voice and we found our point of view again and our reason for being with you. And we're glad you're here. So until my next reporting on all things Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.